Please help me to reach 600 subscribers. I never imagined a careless comment could unravel an entire life, yet that's exactly what happened to me. I joked that I might have been better off with my husband's friend instead, and he took it seriously. What I meant as an idle, thoughtless remark spiraled into something irreversible. My name is Linda, I'm 40, and until last year I was married to Brian. We lived in a small town in Oregon where everyone knows each other, greets neighbors at the mailbox, and waves at familiar faces. Brian and I had shared 11 years of marriage. It was quiet, steady, and uneventful. No fights, no scandals, just a love that had gradually dimmed over time. Brian was the kind of husband who quietly held everything together. He worked hard, kept up with the bills, fixed things around the house, and rarely complained. Over the years, I began to mistake his calm reliability for dullness. I didn't voice it, but I felt it deep down. I craved excitement, attention, and the feeling of being truly noticed again. Jason, Brian's best friend, had been part of our lives for years. Where Brian was steady and reserved, Jason was outgoing, charming, and effortlessly confident. Single and carefree, he could light up a room with humor and charisma. I had never thought of him romantically, not seriously at least. One summer evening we hosted a casual backyard barbecue. A few neighbors stopped by, some drinks were flowing, and laughter filled the air. Brian and Jason chatted about work while I sat nearby, half listening. Jason complimented me, joking about how patient I was with Brian. I laughed and said, maybe I picked the wrong guy. Maybe I should have gone for his friend instead. People chuckled. Brian forced a smile, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. To me it was a harmless joke, a fleeting, silly comment. But Jason didn't respond with laughter. Later that night Brian was quiet. When I asked him what was wrong, he said, that comment earlier, it didn't feel like a joke. I rolled my eyes. You're overthinking. I was kidding, I said. He nodded, but something subtle had shifted. Over the next few weeks, Jason began texting me. At first it was innocent. Memes, small jokes, casual check-ins. I told myself it was harmless. Brian knew we all text sometimes and I didn't hide it, but I also didn't put a stop to it. Then Jason's messages changed. They grew bolder, more personal. He complimented me, suggested I wasn't appreciated enough, hinted that Brian took me for granted. I didn't reject him, I just listened. One afternoon he dropped by our house unexpectedly while Brian was at work. In the kitchen he looked at me and said, that joke you made, I think it meant more than you realized. I laughed nervously, trying to brush it off. But he pressed, I think you really meant it. My stomach dropped. I told him to leave. He did, but not before whispering, if you ever want what you joked about, I'm here. That night, sleep eluded me. Though nothing physical had happened, something inside me felt fractured. Jason didn't stop. His texts continued, escalating in intensity. Instead of shutting him down, I responded cautiously, leaving a small door open. Brian noticed. Why are you always on your phone? He asked. I brushed it off. Work stuff, I muttered. Then came the confrontation. A minor argument over household chores escalated into something bigger. Brian said, ever since that joke, I feel like I'm competing with my own friend. My stomach sank. You're imagining things. Jason just listens, I snapped. His face went pale. He confronted Jason the next day. I wasn't present, but Brian told me later. Jason admitted he had feelings for me, believing my joke was an invitation. When Brian returned home, his expression was unreadable. Did you encourage this? He asked. I tried to explain, said it started as a joke. He listened, then said calmly, but you didn't stop it. That evening, Jason sent another message urging me to leave Brian and be with him. I showed Brian. He didn't yell. He didn't curse. He simply said, I can't do this anymore. Trust isn't just about cheating, it's about respect. And I no longer feel respected. I cried, apologized, begged for understanding, but intentions don't erase consequences. Brian moved into the guest room that night. A week later he moved out for good, not solely because of Jason but because he felt humiliated, insecure, and disrespected. Jason disappeared from our lives, and I was left alone with the wreckage of my own careless words. Months later Brian and I attempted counseling. He said he couldn't forget what I had said, couldn't unhear the words I had flippantly tossed out. I had learned a painful truth: jokes carry weight. And when a joke hints at breaking someone's heart, you can't be surprised if someone takes it seriously, and the person who truly loves you stops laughing altogether. Please help me to reach 600 subscribers.